So trying to sit. It's quiet out here today. No wind, just birds. Funny how your perspective changes. Remember a few weeks ago I recorded a video talking about what I would change about the cabin, whether I would put an airlock on here and facing the orient in the cabin more south facing, so the broader side is facing south, but you just get used to it. So as much as I observe that maybe I would make that change. It's not like I really care too much because, like I said, my perspective has changed. So how I deal with cold is completely different than how I dealt with cold when I lived in town in a bigger, warmer house and rarely ventured outside. So when I did, like if I went down to the city for work, for example, or to the nearby town where I have my business, dressed in business attire, everything felt cold. So this is -5 right now. There's a lot of humidity because you can feel the dampness in the air. But at that time, -5 felt brutally cold because I would have light boots on, a light winter dressier coat, and a suit, or at least dress clothes, and just not prepared for it. No hat, so everything felt cold. Then when you start living basically outside full time, -5 is balmy. Like no gloves, no hat. Probably take the jacket off if I start splitting wood. Take the coat off. And what I talked about with the air coming in, I don't even care because this cabin heats up so fast once it's warm with that wood stove burning that it's almost refreshing to have that cold air come in briefly and then close the door, let the fire heat everything back up again within a short time and not care about it. But the other thing is I always have more clothes on, or more prepared, more dressed for it than if I was, like I said, living more urban. So got proper boots on, thicker pants. These down vests are awesome, so just undo it when I get hot or take it off and then put it back on. Keeps my core warm. So just something you get used to. Like I said, -5 feels warm right now. So that's why I'm kind of leaving the door open. I don't really care. Load up with more firewood, and then I'm gonna get back working on the sauna. I'm splitting a little bit more firewood for making dinner. Actually, if you want to stick around till later in the video, I'm actually going to make pemmican with that lard that I rendered, that tallow that I rendered a few weeks ago, and then the jerky that I dried on the fire, the deer jerky. I'm going to mix that all together with a little bit of blueberries, and I'll show you what the end product looks like. Like 10 minutes? Right? You want to cook? tired again. Callie is exhausted. We went for a quick walk around the property just before dinner time without, I didn't wear snowshoes. Of course she doesn't wear snowshoes, but she was having a hard time walking through the snow. I can't believe how deep it's getting. We haven't had snow for almost a week, I think, like significant snow. Since did it snow in the last video? Yeah, I think it snowed in the last video, right? But we haven't had anything in at least 3 days anyway. And today we got a little bit of freezing rain, so it kind of compressed it a little bit again. But still, it's probably, well, it was up over my knees everywhere, and then the odd spot where vegetation was holding the snow up off the ground, it went up to my waist a couple of times. So Callie was kind of struggling through that. And I took her for a walk specifically to tire her out because she was restless. And she couldn't find either one of her training dummies. They're out in the snow here somewhere. So we're going to have to try to find those tomorrow. While I'm sitting here though, I started opening some mail. I haven't been getting to the P.O. box very often. So this stuff picked up since the last video where I actually showed me opening mail from subscribers, and there's still Christmas stuff in there, still Christmas cards and stuff. So I'll go through that quickly. I'll open this stuff up. Thank you everybody again. 2 pillows like that, and they're a fair size too, and they're actually perfect for the cabin. I do like having red accents in here, and so does my wife. And they're quite large, so that bench that I built, which is a bench for the kitchen table as well as a spare bed, it's so deep because it is a bed as well that the need a bunch of pillows for your back. So that's perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. This is not in any order. I already opened all this stuff, so I'm just looking at it again quickly. Somebody with a 3D printer printed all these things off. Oh, Merry Christmas. So these are Christmas decorations printed on a 3D printer. But a couple of the loose items were little cast iron looking frying pans, which is pretty neat. Callie, none of this is actually for you, Pop. There's no food in that frying pan. No, it's not for you. No. Come on. Back to bed. Merry Christmas from Chuck Miller. Thank you, Chuck. Cats, Arts, and Crafts, is it? Patrick Delsing in the Netherlands, actually. Patrick and his family sent me this. Callie, Pop, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? None of it's for you. Well, maybe there is food in there for you. I'll find out in a minute. Patrick carved, this is an open L knife. I think it's a standard knife that you buy, but anyway, he carved the handle. So there's a little bear head on the end of this handle, which is very interesting, very cool. Very creative, and it's done very well, and it's a knife that I can actually use, and it's really sharp. I'll probably use this actually for opening mail. So, Callie, what the heck are you doing, girl? No, you're not biting that. What are you doing? Not for you. I'm not sure why she's doing that. Card from The Woods Online on YouTube. The Woods Online, Brian and Angie. Thank you. I'll check out your channel. This is a bar of charcoal soap, I believe. Yeah. Gear Slayer charcoal soap. That's cool. And that is from Homer 9 Handcrafted Soaps, Ali Slocum. You can always use soap, especially natural soaps. I have a few bars like this that have been given to me from different people, including one of our friends who makes them. But that's my favorite. That's all I use here is these natural soaps. I really appreciate that. This is from Jeffrey Skillet Chanhassen, Minnesota, near Minneapolis. Just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll read all these letters, by the way, and I have read some of them already. But I'm not going to read them online or on here on the video. But that's a, what did they say? It's a, my wife knew what it is. Oh, a pastry knife for cutting butter or lard, I guess, for making bread and pastries and stuff. So that definitely will get used. That'll go into the kitchen right away. Thank you. Romney's Kindle Mint Cake. A whole box of these things. This is like literally like 3-4 pounds of this mint cake. If you want to speak up in the comments, just let me know exactly who it was. I've lost the envelope that it came in. No, it just came in this, I guess. I'm not sure if there was a letter with this. I've misplaced it if there is. I'm assuming you sent Joe Robinette these a year and a half ago as well, or 2 years ago. If that's the case, and I actually tried it, I'm pretty sure this is the same stuff at the very least, but I did try it on our Woodland Caribou canoe trip, and it was nice on like day 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever it was to have a treat like that, high density sugar treat. I'm not going to eat that right now because I'm kind of in ketosis right now for the winter, but definitely that's going to be something I'm going to keep in my survival pack and in my skidoo pack, and also I'll take that on canoe trips. Nice to eat that sitting around the fire at night, or if I'm portaging or something, high energy stuff, and I can just quickly take a bite of that. So thank you, I really appreciate that. I've misplaced the letter or whatever, or card that came along with this, so sorry about that, but if you want to comment below, please let me know that it was you that sent me these. Really appreciate that. Like I said, it's perfect for here. So another thing that just arrived was a knife from Survival Lily. It's a knife that she designed and had made. She went through quite a number of designs actually until she finally got the one that she's satisfied with. I don't know the specs on this nice knife specifically right now. I think Lily, if you want to comment below, I'll pin your comment for a while and let people see what exactly this is. And I'm going to spend some time using this thing, and then I'll do a review I think later where I talk about it more, and I'll talk about the specs. All I can see right now is it's very thick steel, extremely sharp spine, nice handle. I like that blade shape actually. It's kind of the blade shape that I prefer. I use that more than anything for, especially for big game hunting. So I do like that design. I like the heft of this thing too, and it's a really solid case too that it's in. I guess that's a Kydex sheath with all kinds of grommets and screws to hold it together. Really well built and solid. I mean, it's in there good, right? So anyway, I like that knife a lot. Lily, thanks a lot for that, and I'll definitely, like I said, put that to good use and let you know exactly what I think about it. Just, soon, probably in the next week or two. Got a lot of things I could use that for this week even. So thanks, Lily, appreciate it. So that whole thing's always a little bit awkward for me, especially going to the P.O. box or going into town to get the stuff and then coming out with all this mail from you guys. I do appreciate it, but like I said, it is awkward. It's just unusual, I guess, to get stuff from people that I don't know. I'll get used to it, I guess, but like I said, I do appreciate it. And it seems like every time in town now, uploading a video, I do run into people. So, and actually I stopped at Cabela's and yesterday, I guess, when I was uploading. Yeah, because I was at the coffee shop right by Cabela's uploading a video, and somebody who recognized me came up to me there, which was nice. And then when I went to Cabela's to get a piece for my auger, ice auger, somebody came and introduced themselves there as well, which was nice. I'm gonna go to bed early because that wasn't overly hard a day, but it's gonna be much colder, so I got something I'm gonna make in here in the morning. Actually, that pot of of beef shank and venison loin that's simmering away on the stove. That's actually tomorrow's lunch and tomorrow's dinner. But I have something else I'm going to make in the morning, that pemmican. So if you want to watch the second half of the video, that's what I'll be doing in it. Making that pemmican and then going out and working on the sauna. I didn't realize when I got that fire going inside to thaw out those logs, it melted down to the bare gravel, of course. And I wasn't sure. I knew there was 2 courses down there, but it didn't really translate, I guess. I was thinking I only had 6 or 7 courses done, but I actually have 9 courses done, which means I'm 4.5 feet up and I'm only going 6 feet, so I only need 3 or 4 more courses to get the walls, the outside wall, like the left and right long walls, to the height that I'm going to stop at. Actually, I'm only a couple of days away from having that done, and then I can get that roof done, and then I can start making doors, like framing in the 2 doors and working on that center wall. So that's exciting finally. So anyway, that's in the morning. So I'm gonna shut this off, stop filming, and finish doing the dishes, and I'm gonna go to bed early. So see you in the morning. I don't know if you can hear that wind. Just getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden you can hear this wind picking up. Wicked. It was so calm all day, like completely calm, not even a breeze. That's the cold front coming in. It was like, it got all the way up to -2 just before I came in. And I think it's dropping down to -20 or something tonight. Maybe not quite that low, but something, it's a lot colder. So that's the cold front blowing in. Kelly, you want to go out or you want to come in? Just uploaded my Wednesday video. It's Wednesday morning right now. So this is my equivalent of eating in front of the TV, watching the fire, and responding to your comments on the video. That's wicked out there.
Don't touch it. You want to come in and lick the bowl? Come on, pup.
Cold out there, right, Kelly? This is my lunch and my dinner. It's the stuff I put on the stove last night. The grass-fed beef shank, venison loin, and some ground venison from the previous night's sort of chili. And then there's celery and tomatoes. That's basically it. And some spices, but that's the bulk of the ingredients. So when I put that bok choy or pak choy or whatever it is, I put those leaves in here as well. So there's a little bit of greenery. It's getting very cold outside, so burning through calories like crazy right now. And I think what I'm going to do, it's getting pretty cold on the hands because of the wind. It's not bad, even if it's minus 20 Celsius, like 0-ish Fahrenheit. It's not bad when the wind's not blowing, but as soon as the wind picks up, it just goes right through you when you're stationary trying to work. So I think what I'll do after lunch is go out and find the ridge pole, the ridge beam. I'm at that point now. I actually only have 1.5 courses left to go for the wall height, and then I'm going to start making the gables. So I want to make sure that I have the proper ridge beam in stock here, like up alongside the cabin, so that I can get the dimension of it, the diameter, and then make sure that I cut the gable, top gable uprights to the dimension that puts the ridge pole beam at the right point, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'll be there. Got a lot of other things on the go right now, but I'll be there probably in the next 2 weeks on video, I would say. Have the gable ends done and be putting up that ridge beam. So I need to really find it now. Plus, I think the 2 top courses, I'm probably also going to make extra long so that I have an overhang over the front door. So I really need either 3 or 5. Ideally 5, because I'm going to have a heavy roof on there. So it'll be nice to have an intermediate beam here. So I've got ridge, middle, and top chord. I know where there's one for sure. We'll go look at it right now after lunch, and it's ash. It's a lot stronger than cedar. Make a good one, but it's going to be heavy, so I'll probably have to get the snowmobile out and pull it up to the cabin. It's been going long enough since I put it on last night that it's nice and tender now. So that's dinner again tonight, and probably lunch again tomorrow. So whenever I'm making meals here, I try to do that. I try to make kind of 1-pot meals or 2-pot meals, and I try to make them last over at least 2 meals. Just let them simmer like even a stock pot. I'll just put a pot on the stove and let vegetables and meat simmer to make a nice stew or gravy or broth that I can cook other things in. Finding it cold too, pup? So these are some that I made last year with last year's venison, with more tallow and more blueberries. You can see it's a lot lighter because that's obviously the tallow. So the fat, these ones are more protein than fat. Probably still though, I would say that's still like 60% fat. I would say at least 30% protein and 10% carbohydrates. This is likely more like 80% fat and 10% yeah, probably 70%, 20% and 10% or something like that, or 5% carbohydrates. So that's my basic recipe for pemmican. I think it's pretty traditional, and I use venison, so white-tailed deer, but in the past, like back when the voyageurs, the coureur de bois were using this as their pretty much their sole food source. They made it out of buffalo, came from the prairies and worked its way back. So dried buffalo fat, and then whatever berries, could be cranberries or in my case blueberries, and that's eliminated sometimes. It's hard to believe that they actually survived on that. It's not the most palatable, but of course there's a lot of energy in it. What I didn't realize until I started doing research to the ketogenic diet is that that's basically what it was. So I've heard that back then it took them 2 or 3 weeks to get used to using that as a fuel source, and the reason for that is that there's not enough carbohydrates in it to convert to glucose to operate your brain, to provide energy to the brain. So it takes a while for your body to get used to using ketones as your primary energy source. So that's why it would have taken them time to adjust to like a 90% fat diet or 80%. So I tend to use it. I do carry it in my survival pack, and I have eaten it just straight like that quite a few times, but I do prefer just to put it into a pot, melt it down, and then put something else in it just to thin it out a little bit, dilute it a bit, even if it's cooking fish or some other kind of meat or vegetables. That's my favorite way to eat it. So that'll store virtually forever. I've had stuff 2 or 3 years old, so I'll put this in a mason jar and keep it in the cellar under the ground here, and that'll stay for a long time. A lot of herbal teas you have to, or herbal, however you say it, you have to simmer gently or boil the water, let it cool down slightly, and then put the tea into it. Chaga is different. You actually boil it or simmer it for a long time. Longer the better, actually. Actually unlocks the nutrients. So what I tend to do is I'll fill a kettle like that and let it simmer on the fire for a little while. And then just basically start drinking it as soon as I feel like it. I don't really wait too long, because what I end up doing is using the entire chaga. Essentially what I do is let it simmer for even days, and I'll just keep drinking that. I'll just keep topping this kettle up with water as I drain it, as I drink it, and keep doing that until it runs clear, and then I'll clean out the kettle, get rid of that spent chaga, and put some new powder in there. Typically I like to get it smaller than what I just put in there, but it doesn't matter because it's going to leach for so long that I will get all the nutrients out of it. So I've been finding all kinds of it. I have those 3 big chunks, and I have probably a dozen other trees that I've found it on. So I've got pretty well a lifetime supply of it. The proper way to harvest it is to, when you find a chunk typically on a birch tree around here, yellow birch and paper birch, so you take a saw and cut it, leaving at least like a good inch proud of the bark, like sticking further out than the bark, so that you're not damaging the tree. Now the chaga will eventually kill the tree. It could take years. You don't want to speed that process up, and you don't want to kill the chaga. So by cutting it off like that, both things survive longer. But you do want to harvest it in the winter when the tree and the chaga are dormant. I'm trying to think of other things that are like this, but basically I guess a lot of plants are like this. So in the summer all the energy is going up to the leaves, and then in the winter or the fall when it goes dormant, the tops die off in a say an annual or biannual plant, biannual or perennial. So the energy goes back into that bulb or into the root system, and then in the spring the energy comes back out of that and it flourishes again. Same thing with chaga. So in the fall all the energy comes back into the chaga and gets stored there as throughout the winter, and then it starts flowing back into the tree in the spring when the sap starts flowing again. So this is a good time to harvest it. I'll harvest what I can for now. I might harvest a little bit more now, but this is probably enough already what I've got here for at least a year, I would say. And those other trees, I just want to make sure I harvest it before the tree dies, and then the chaga dies as well. So I'll put that on the fire and I'll start drinking that this afternoon. So we went through the subscriber mail and the gifts last night. I forgot to mention this. This is from Gregory Bryan or Brian Gregory. I'm not sure how the waybill was made out, so I don't think I saw a letter with it. But I think, where are you from? North Carolina? You sent this all the way from down there. I think the shipping alone on that was over $50. So appreciate you doing that for me. It's really, really thoughtful and quite an expensive gift. If you don't know what it is, it's a log dog. So you probably see me use another one. It's handy to have two, especially with bigger logs, and also when I get into making the timber frame workshop, wood shop, I'll definitely be needing two. So this is very much appreciated. I'll show you how it works right now if you haven't. Basically all you do is, that's nice and sharp actually. You stick it in one log and then in the other, preferably on an angle like that. It'll stop this log from rolling as I'm moving it around and trying to scribe it. Just holds it in place. So very helpful, especially as I get up higher. I don't want those logs rolling off after I expend all that energy trying to get them up on top of the high walls. So, let's build it right there. I think another reason to stop working on this today is these logs are frozen. People have asked me whether I'm finding that they're more difficult to work when they're frozen and whether it's harder on the tools. And today, I think more than any day proves that it is much harder on the tools and on me. It started off, and the reason I know that is the day started off relatively mild. Logs were easier to work with then than they are today, or now this afternoon, and harder than they were yesterday when it was warm all day. So that kind of just balanced out because there's so much moisture frozen inside the log. That's it. That's the door height. Cut out half of this log down here so that it, probably with the door stop actually, and this door will swing out. So you'll have to duck to get into it, but who cares? It's just a sauna. And I want to keep the outside wall 6 feet, which means this one coming across here has to rest on those, so it has to be at 6 feet as well. Yeah, that's perfect. Cut a little square out of this as well, a notch out of this to fit the door frame. That will be the door frame, so it'll be flat and the door will butt up against the inside of that. Man, I never thought I'd see the top of the walls. Carry your leg with you, pup. Yep, snowshoed up.